Hello everyone, Voodoo here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over one thing for Havoc Demon Hunter that's causing you to lose a ton of damage in raids. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about, and I'll get to that. Before I get to that, a few things. One, thank you all for supporting the videos, liking and all of that. Likes are the best way to help spread videos to more people and support content creators. So if you like a content creator, you want to see them do well, scroll down, hit the like button, then watch the video. If you don't like the video, you can always unlike it later. On top of that though, I also got a new mic, so hopefully the sound is a little bit better for you. And hit the subscribe button. I want to hit 10K by the end of the year. That would be sick. So here we are in this video today. Now this is going to be a raid focused tip. Try to help you guys out in raid. I've been noticing this issue happen a lot of the times, honestly, to a few different people in log reviews, just in the Havoc Demon Hunter Discord and in general. So it's definitely something that I've been noticing happening a lot in the community. And something that you definitely need to know while you're doing those raids, while you're venturing into Avarice or whatever else in the future, unless Havoc gets some big changes, which I really hope they do, but hey, who knows? Now, I was gonna have a video today where I went over some of the stuff I'd like to see Havoc get. I'm gonna delay that to Wednesday, so I have a little bit more time on editing and all that stuff. But for today's video, we'll go over the tips. So what am I talking about? So I'm talking about basically not wasting your GCDs. And that sounds very simple, and you're probably like, oh, Voodoo, I know that already. But it's a little bit more complex than what I'm saying, and I definitely see this a lot. So the reason I'm talking about this is because of these two talents right here. Now, if you watched my video on Wednesday, I believe it was, where I talk about all the issues with Havoc Demon Hunter, then you definitely saw me talking about Shattered Destiny and Cycle of Hatred. Basically what this does in combination with Demonic is it incentivizes us to have a playstyle where we are in our demon form, we are using our buttons to reduce I-beam as much as physically possible, kind of like Sinful Brand. Now, Sinful Brand, for those of you who didn't play in Shadowlands and avoided that horror, was basically a dot we put on the target, and we had to use our I-beam to extend the dot, and our whole gameplay just revolved around extending this dot over and over and over again. And we're basically hitting that same thing where we're just extending Demonic with I-beam and Shattered Destiny over and over and over and over again. It's basically the same thing, except we don't get a cool red brand, we just get to be in a demon form. And one of the things that's causing people to lose a lot of uptime here is just GCDs that they don't really need to use. And I'm talking about a lot of generational abilities. So talking about stuff like Fellblade, stuff like Sigil Flame, stuff like Immolation Aura, which I don't have a thing here, but down here, Immolation Aura. Pretty much while you're in demon form or in your Cycle of Hatred windows, any single GCD that you are using whose purpose is to not get you towards your next I-beam extension or CD reduction or whatever is a wasted GCD, and it's causing you to lose some damage, which is kind of crazy. The only exceptions to that are going to be glaives in the serrated glaive build, which I'll swap to now just to make it a little bit easier for everybody. But again, it's kind of going to be the similar thing overall. So basically, any GCD you're pushing, if you're pushing Sigil Flame, if you're pushing Fellblade, if you're pushing Immolation Aura, and you don't absolutely have nothing else to push, like you're not out of Fury, you're not out of Fell Rush charges, that is going to be a wasted GCD and is thus causing you to lose out on some damage. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of big dummies in big target dummies. I could go on this guy, but he's kind of hard to hit. So we'll go on to one of the regular dummies here. I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. So obviously it's going to be a little bit different because I have serrated glaive. So we'll do our normal rotation, Sigil Flame, Immolation Aura, do that, Fell Rush in, start with my beacon, throw out a glaive, and then we'll just hit the I-beam, Annihilation, backflip, Essence Break, Death Sweep, meta, Death Sweep, Hunt, and obviously my momentum here isn't wonderful. But basically at this point, the only buttons I need to be pushing are going to be Fell Rush, Death Sweep, Annihilation, and just other buttons that whenever I run out of Fury. At this point, all I'm doing, I'm maintaining my debuff, and I'm just trying to spend as much Fury as possible. Notice here how I'm not really using anything. I'm gonna Fell Rush here because I need to before my Death Sweeps and everything. But basically all I'm doing is just using Fell Rush to generate Fury. I'm barely ever pushing Immolation Aura, barely ever pushing Fellblade. I'm just using my Fell Rushes, my Death Sweep, my Chaos Strikes, and all that to generate Fury. Only using the other options whenever I literally have nothing else to push. And this is what people are messing up often. I see this all the time in logs, in my review series and everything like that, where people are just not doing this thing. They're using all these buttons that don't actually help them achieve this goal of theirs. So see here, we're out of everything, so I'm just gonna, oh, see, we got our Fury back, so it doesn't even matter. Refreshing our Sturdy Glaive. And again, it's just, all I'm doing here is just using my buttons to get me closer to my next I-beam extension. That's it. We'll glaive down the demon. I-beam, do the whole thing. I'm basically never using Fellblade, never using Immolation Aura, and never using Sigil Flame. I see so many people make this mistake, guys. Absolutely so many people making the mistake of using Sigil Flame, using Fellblade, whenever they don't need to. Whenever you're full on Fury, you have Fel Rush charges, you got to be using Fel Rushes before using anything else. The reason we use those Fel Rushes, and again, if you're facing multiple targets, then don't worry about that. The reason we use those Fel Rushes is because of Isolated Prey. The bottom part here, where Fel Rush generates 25 to 35 Fury. Again, the reason we're doing this, Fel Rush is not a full GCD. If you look at my bars, you can see GCD lockout. When I push a button, I'll push Immolation Aura, and we'll have a full GCD lockout there. I'll push Fel Rush, and the GCD lockout is basically instant. So having essentially an off GCD Fury generator is so incredibly powerful, right? So you want as little casts of Immolation Aura, Fellblade, Sigil Flame basically as possible, because you want to be using that Fel Rush to generate all your Fury. We're gonna hop over to a log now, and we'll take a look there so I can show you guys a bit of a more concrete example, so to speak. All right, so to just kind of illustrate my point a bit, here we are looking at casts from the top 3 publicly available logs for Magmarax on Mythic. So again, lots of caveats there, but basically a single target boss with not a ton of mechanics that you can pretty easily see the amount of casts throwing into things. So look here, see 148 Annihilation casts, 34 Fel Rush, 53 souls were picked up, which is good because that's Fury generation. We have 10 casts Immolation Aura, which is pretty reasonable. And then down here at the bottom, like 2 Sigil Flame and 1 Fellblade. So again, hammering home that we're really only using these buttons. Immolation Aura is kind of weird because it's like your highest prio Fury generator outside of Fel Rush. But Sigil Flame and Fellblade are really only being used if there's nothing else. If you look over at another log here, this is another one of the top logs. It's in Chinese, but you can tell from the things. We have 4 casts of Fellblade, which is actually a lot. 1 cast of Sigil Flame, and we have roughly 45 soul pickups and 44 Fel Rushes. So that's higher Fel Rush numbers, but again, most of your Fury generation. Also lots of Immolation Aura, but this one's also a longer fight. It's like roughly 40 seconds longer than the other one. But again, you know, most of the Fury generational stuff here is coming from Fel Rush, Souls, Refund from Annihilation, and then a little bit of stuff with Immolation Aura. So again, barely ever pushing Fellblade, barely ever pushing Sigil Flame, only ever pushing Immolation Aura whenever you don't have anything else to push. And one more, just to really hammer home my point here, lots of Annihilations, 61 soul pickups, so lots of Fury from there, and then they come down, 12 Immolation Auras, 5 Sigil Flames, and they never pushed Fellblade even one time, which, again, maybe you could probably push once if you're like moving around or something, but lots of Fury generation from Fel Rush, lots from Shattered Souls. Look over at resources, hit points, Fury. You can see that most of the generation is Demon Blades, Chaos Strike, Demonic Appetite, Tactical Retreat, Tier Set, and Isolated Prey. Very few is actually coming from Immolation Aura and Sigil Flame. And again, the same stuff's going to be true for these other ones, right? If we go to resources, hit points, Fury here, again, it's in Chinese. Apology, it's in Mandarin, sorry. But most of the Fury gain is coming from these abilities here. Very few, if any, is coming from Immolation Aura, Fellblade, Sigil Flame. And one more time, 3 is the time. Where is it? Resources, Fury. Again, lots of it for Demon Blades, Chaos Strike, Demonic Appetite, Retreat, our Tier Set, Isolated Prey from Fel Rush, and then just very little coming from these other sources. So if that doesn't hammer home the idea that you basically should barely ever be pushing these buttons, and Immolation Aura only if you have nothing else, then I don't know what does, right? So these things here, if you're pushing them in the wrong kind of like if you're getting the wrong idea to push them, if you're pushing them when you don't need them to, it's going to cause you to lose a lot of damage, right? You need to be filling your using all your GCDs to reduce the cooldown of your I-beam so that you can get that back. That is the most important part of Havoc Demon Hunter. Now I do think that's kind of problematic. That fits into something else though, but I had a video last week talking about that if you want to go check that out. But again, you got to use all of your GCDs trying to reduce that I-beam, throwing out as much chaos strikes as possible, fell rushing, barely ever pushing immolation or a fell blade or sigil flame, and really just forcing home that cooldown reduction on I-beam, getting demonic form back, and just keeping your damage as high as possible. So anyways, that's going to be it for my video today. I hope this little tip helps you guys do the most damage you can in the raids. Remember, if you're not reducing your I-beam, if you're not extending your demon form, then you probably should not be pushing that button, and that is the unfortunate reality of Havoc Demon Hunter as it currently stands. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, scroll down and drop a comment if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that. And of course, if you really enjoyed it, hit the sub button. If you want to help me, support me, consider becoming a channel member. There's a link in the description down below. You get access to an exclusive part of my Discord. You get access to exclusive emotes for comments and YouTube live streams. You get access to VOD reviews and a ton of other cool perks like exclusive videos as well. And you get to help me out. Also, go follow me on Twitch. I'll be streaming more regularly on Twitch there. So tons of stuff. With that though, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll have another video Wednesday going over how I want Havoc to change and improve and at what new things can be added to Havoc to hopefully make it a little bit better. And see you guys then. So peace. A big shout out to my channel members: 121, Payne, Joshua O'Connell, Brad Wisniak, Zuligan, James, Exclamation, It's Bulk, Flapjack67, Spaghetti, and Angelo. Again, a big shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to become a channel member, get access to some exclusive videos, exclusive emotes, a special part of the Discord, as well as access to things like VOD and log review, then follow the link down below. It's a great way to support me, help put out better videos and make better content. So again, thank you everybody. Thank you for watching the video. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.